At first glance, this might look like another one of those popular high-speed bedslingers that we're seeing everywhere right now, but Anycubic's newest multicolor 3D printer has a few tricks up its sleeve that even some of its biggest competitors would be jealous of. And I'm not just talking about that, this is a 4-color 3D printer coming in at under $300. So this is Anycubic's new fast multicolor bedslinger, the Kobra X. And what's so special about this new bedslinger is that it takes all of the color changing technology and packs it directly into the Printhead, the Ace Gen 2. It's specifically designed for faster color swapping as well as producing less purge material with each color swap. I also want to mention right off the bat that this video is being sponsored by Anycubic, so please don't consider this a review of the Kobra X. However, I've been printing with a lot of different materials and test printing a lot of different things, including doing some print comparisons between some other popular multicolor 3D printers so that we can see if this thing actually prints faster and produces less waste than those other machines. The Kobra X can print up to 600 millimeters per second. In reality, you're probably gonna be printing around 300 millimeters per second, but it does print incredibly fast and it is extremely smooth and stable while it's printing, providing a really quiet printing experience. It has a build volume of 260 by 260 by 260, which is slightly larger than a lot of its competition. Its hot end can print up to 300C, meaning you can print with a huge variety of materials, but it's not fully enclosed, meaning that you're probably gonna have some limitations when it comes to printing with things like ASA and ABS, but it handles PLA, PETG, and TPU flawlessly. It also has a great built-in auto leveling system, and the included textured PEI dual-sided build plate is fantastic when it comes to bed adhesion with basically everything that I've printed with it so far. There's also some smart features built into this printer, including a built-in camera for remotely monitoring as well as creating time lapses, and it is a very smooth camera experience. There's also AI functionality built into this, and I know you're rolling your eyes right now, but it actually works. The object failure detection and the spaghetti detection actually works with this machine. But the real draw here, again, is the new Ace Gen 2 Printhead that's gonna directly feed all 4 of the PTFE tubes directly into the top of the extruder, where it's gonna manage all of the 4 colors and the swapping of those directly into the Printhead, which honestly is pretty impressive to see when it's up and running. And again, we'll get into some of the print comparisons to see exactly how much faster this can swap between its colors and some of the other machines. And on paper, this printer checks a lot of boxes with its amazing specs, but what really stood out to me are some of the things that I saw while working with this over the past few weeks. And the first one being that this printer is so quiet. I've continually had to go back into this room and double check that it was actually printing because I am not hearing it from the other room. This printer is gonna be perfect for anybody working in a small office or studio that doesn't wanna deal with all the typical noises that you hear from most other bedslingers. This next one might be the best usability feature that I have seen on any 3D printer. In fact, I don't think I've seen this on any other multicolor 3D printer until the Kobra X, and that is a logical multicolor selection layout screen. I know this is super basic, but you have no idea how frustrating it can be to work with some other 3D printers where colors just seem to be scattered all over the place. This is intelligently laid out in sort of a color gradient status here, making it very easy to identify and select what color you're loading into the 3D printer. And what's even better than that is that you can add your own custom colors to this 3D printer. Why isn't this available on every machine? This is the first time I'm seeing it, and it's here on the Kobra X, and it's amazing. Sometimes I need more than 1 or 2 shades of green or brown. I need 3 or 4 depending on what I'm printing, and I can easily do that here on the Kobra X. Another really cool thing is, again, that Ace Gen 2 Printhead system here. You can easily take the front cover off, and instead of swapping out the whole hot end, there is just this strap in place, and then you remove the silicone sock. You just swap out the nozzle. This is such a different, novel approach to this. I find this to be a little bit easier than working with some of the other machines that have the quick swap functions. I'm also excited to see what Anycubic does with this and like different size nozzle options that are going to be available for this 3D printer, which are up, I believe, live right now for pre-order with this machine. But one of my favorite things when it comes to multicolor 3D printers, including the Kobra X, is that you can utilize a continuous feeding function. So if you have a whole lot of partial spools of filament like I do, it will easily allow you to use up all of your sort of excess spools that you have. But one thing that I find really cool about this is that when it gets to the end of that line, sometimes it has like a little hook in it and can cause clogs and jams in your 3D printers. Well, this is uniquely designed where it's gonna spit out the end of your filament line from the top of the printhead here, preventing any kind of issues that you might run into when it comes with the end of those lines of filaments. Another cool thing about that functionality is that I ended up having a small bit of filament break off inside of one of the PTFE tubes because I left that roll sitting here for a day or two and it just sort of snapped and I didn't realize it. So I loaded in another roll, but it recognized that the filament wasn't a continuous strip and it spit that out the top for me and then allowed me to feed in the new line of filament. I thought that was a really cool thing that it was able to capture that before it fed in and produced the wrong color that was partially loaded in the printhead here. But again, the real test with any 3D printer is how does this actually handle real world 3D prints? So let's dive into some of the things that I printed with it. Now, immediately I realized I was gonna need some kind of a purge bin to capture all the poop that was coming out of the 3D printer. And thankfully, Anycubic included an actual print file that you can print with this 3D printer that fits the purge bin for this printer. Again, it's a small thing, but Anycubic's gone that extra step to make sure that the user experience is a really solid one. So I was feeling very nostalgic with a lot of these prints, so I found this Mouser file from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from PLA-n-PA. And it was a 5-hour and 34-minute print, and this is the first time that I saw that continuous spool ejection function in action. And I had no idea that that was on there and just randomly saw it sitting on top of the printhead and thought that it was so wild. Also, everything that I'm printing and showing you is printed in Anycubic's Slice Next software, which is their slicer that's a variation of Orca Slicer, and so far it has a lot of great built-in profiles. And that's all I've been using are their default profiles for everything that I've worked with for different PLAs, PETG, and TPU prints. Also, I want to mention that I have not fine-tuned any of the purge volumes or anything color transitions for any of the prints. Next, I want to test out printing a whole bunch of things on the build plate at one time, because with multicolor 3D printers, it's going to produce the same amount of waste no matter how many of the objects that you're printing on the build plate. So I loaded up a whole bunch of these tiny Lovebots for Valentine's Day, and it took just a little over 6 hours to print and produced 10 grams of purge waste. Now, as someone that grew up in the 90s playing a whole lot of Street Fighter 2 in the arcades, I ended up finding a file that's lets you recreate some of your favorite stages from that arcade game. And this is Guile's stage that allows you to print these all flat on the build plate in 4 colors. You can then take multiple prints and stack them on top of each other to create this really cool effect that looks like it's a 3D variation of the game scene popping right out at you. And what was really good is that I could test out printing this at a 0.12 layer height and printing some really fine details on the build plate and seeing how everything adhered, and it all printed marvelously. And the best part is it only produced a tiny amount of waste because we weren't doing a whole lot of multi-layer color transitions. There were only a few transitions for every one of these prints. I then wanted to try pretty much maxing out the X and Y axis of this printer and printing something fairly large. So I found this really incredible Star Wars light switch panel that allows you to mount this to your light switch after it's printed and allow you to control your lights just like you would see on something on a Star Wars deck. This is also where some of the AI functionality kicked in with the printer. There was a small filament jam with the print, with the silver layer as it was printing towards the very top here, and it paused the print recognizing that it wasn't feeding correctly. So I just pulled all of the filament out, then reloaded it back in, and it was able to continue without any issues. I then wanted to try printing something tall with the printer that I knew was gonna produce a lot of waste. So I found this Spawn Oni mask from Nikko Industries. And sure enough, it did produce a lot of purge material, but the print ended up finishing fairly quickly, coming in at just under 24 hours for the main body of the mask. And I was really happy to see that there was no color bleeding between the black and white sections of the mask. That is always one big risk with any multicolor 3D printer. But yeah, even with its quick quick swapping color system, it's still gonna produce a fair amount of waste. Now, I must have been on a really big nostalgia kick because I ended up finding a new Patreon from DadCrafted that has these comic book panels that you can print flat on your build plate in, again, just 4 colors, and was able to print each of these, which looks like it's producing a lot more than 4 colors with this printer, but each of these heads are printing separately and then they just snap into place. And each of those heads took anywhere between like 20 to 40 minutes to print, so fairly quick. There's one thing I forgot to mention earlier on in the video as well, is that this is a 4-color print head system, but you can add on multiple of the Ace 2 Pro multicolor systems to this printer, allowing you to print with up to 19 colors. And if you have one of the older Ace Pro color systems there, Anycubic is offering, I think in the next month or so, that you can get a discount on the new system. So you get like a 50% off voucher for the new Ace 2 Pro. And I was posting a good bit about the Kobra X online, and I was getting a lot of requests to try printing with TPU. So this is actually a PETG and TPU print combination there. It's not all printed at the same time. The handle is printed in PETG and is super clean. And then the TPU prints all came out really well, except for one of those, which again, started to come loose off of the print bed, but the camera and its AI function recognized that there was a spaghetti issue and it paused the print. I then used the object cancellation functionality built into the printer, allowing me to skip the objects that had failed and continue on with the rest of the print. I then reloaded up each of those individual parts and got those printed. Also, one quick tip when printing with TPU on the Kobra X, you might end up having an issue feeding the TPU into the tube, into the print head, because when you feed your filament into the print head, you'll hear a little chime letting you know that it's made its way all the way into the slot properly, and then you can load the color into the system here. Well, with TPU, I had to remove the PTFE tube and then insert the filament in that way, and then reseat the PTFE tube, and then it allowed me to connect everything properly. Other than getting it initially loaded, this printer handles TPU so well. I'm excited to test out some softer TPU materials and see how this fares. And another really popular request that I was getting was testing out printing with PLA and PETG at the same time by using PETG as an interface layer, which allows you to more easily separate the supports from your 3D prints. So I found this brand new alien skull from the Galactic Armory, got this sliced up in Anycubic slicer and set PETG as that interface layer, and it printed so nicely. And this was all printed at a 0.28 layer height because I was running out of time because I needed to get this video done. And again, the supports removed so effortlessly from this print. And was really happy to see that there was no issues getting the PETG separated from the PLA. This is an awesome thing to test out if you have not already tried it. Also, the other really impressive thing is that this print only took 10.5 hours to complete with all of those multi-material swaps. Finally, it's time to talk about how the Kobra X compares to some of the other competition out there when it comes to its print speed and color swap times, as well as the material waste for these multicolor 3D prints, and if it actually lives up to the hype. So the first thing I did was load up this quick multicolor test print that was gonna be printing in 2 different colors so that I could test out exactly how fast the color swaps were gonna be between white to red and red to white. On the Kobra X, this was a 23-minute print. From white to red, it took 52 seconds, and from red to white, it took 1 minute and 34 seconds. Now, testing this against the Kobra S1, which is Anycubic's fully enclosed Core XY 3D printer, that took 45 minutes to print. From white to red, that took 2 minutes and 44 seconds for those swaps, and red to white was 3 minutes and 13 seconds, producing 12 grams of Purge waste. So yes, it printed significantly faster than the Kobra S1. And again, I'm just using the default profiles for both of those printers and Anycubic's slicer. Now, the big question is, how did this compare to Anycubic's biggest competitor for their Bedslinger, which is the Bambu Lab A1? The Bambu Lab A1 printed this test print in 36 minutes, and the white to red was 1 minute and 29 seconds. The red to white was 2 minutes and 7 seconds and produced 7 grams of waste. And it's really wild to see that this new Printhead on the Ace Gen 2 actually does provide faster color swapping because of this new technology that they built into the Printhead, and it's still gonna produce slightly less wasted material with this test. But let's see how this actually handles with a real print test. So I tried this multicolor Mickey test print on the Anycubic Kobra X, and this took 7 hours and 35 minutes, produced 70 grams of waste, and the prime tower was 25 grams. Now, there is a slight amount of color bleed on the yellow feet, as well as in the chest area where it was transitioning from the red to white. I did see in the print profile for the Kobra X that the multiplier was set to 0.7, so I tried setting that to 1.0 and recalculating all of those and rerunning those tests to see how the results would further improve. So the print time obviously did increase. That went up to 8 hours and 15 minutes, 110 grams of Purge material and 27 grams for the prime tower, and there was still a little bit of color bleeding on the feet. But the red to white transition looks drastically better. Now on the Kobra S1, this took 16 hours and 26 minutes and produced 230 grams of Purge material, and the prime tower weighed 27 grams. Then on the Bambu Lab A1, that took 11 hours and 23 minutes, 120 grams of Purge material, and 21 grams for that prime tower. And as you can see on the A1, the prime tower is definitely smaller, but again, the Kobra X still produced a faster print as well as less Purge material. But again, the feet area could be slightly improved with that transition from black to yellow in the color profile. Now, I never really ran into any major issues while printing with the Kobra X. I did have a few minor things that I wanted to call out, one of which being I did occasionally have issues feeding filament all the way into the print head where it would make that little chime sound. But to get around that, all I would do is remove the PTFE tube, and then I could insert the filament until it was guided fully in place. Also, occasionally the Anycubic slicer would get out of sync with the printer, but there is a refresh button that they have built into the device page that allowed everything to very easily resync back to the machine, and I was able to get everything sliced up and properly sent over to the printer. And one other minor thing that I want to mention is Anycubic has a handful of replacement parts already available over on the Anycubic website for the Kobra X. However, I would like to see that expanded even further to help better support this budget-friendly, amazing 3D printer. And the craziest part about the Kobra X for me is that it costs under $300. Right now, it's up for pre-order over on Anycubic's website, shipping in March and April, coming in at $279. That is just absolutely insane for what you're gonna be getting with this 3D printer that can not only produce some amazing 3D prints, but allow you to print with Petg, PLA, and TPU easily. But yeah, the Anycubic Kobra X might look like some of the other high-speed multicolor bed slingers that are out there, but it is definitely doing some things that the others are not. If you're interested in more information about the Anycubic Kobra X, you'll find links to that down below, as well as everything else that I've printed in this video. I also want to say a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters for your continued support of me making videos just like this one here. Also, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this new Printhead system that is definitely producing some faster color swaps, but still producing a good amount of Purge waste. Hey, thanks so much for watching, you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.